Welcome, everybody. It's happy days. South Africa is still smiling. I'm still in Wonderland. And I'm with my friend Tsepo Masilela, one of the best minds in South African football, ex-Kaizer Chiefs, ex-Bafana Bafana, played in the World Cup himself. Tsepo, I'm sure you're as happy as I am. And guys, it's the Betway Beat, and we're actually talking Kaizer Chiefs, and it's brought to you by Soccerbeat. The biggest news right now, trending right now at Kaizer Chiefs, is that Kaze and Ben Youssef have been given the job, this big job, massive job, of leading Kaizer Chiefs' fortunes from now to the end of the season. They've been given a big thumbs up from Kaizer Motaung Jr. and Bobby Motaung from the club to say, listen, you're the two guys that'll take the club to the promised land. And the promised land has got to be, Tsepo, for Chiefs fans, a top 3 position. We'll go through the squad and that this squad is good enough for a top 3 and even make a challenge, an outside challenge for the league. But they've got to be looking at a great run in Africa and a great Nedbank Cup run as well. So the question is, why did Kaizer Chiefs give him this big vote of confidence? Secondly, is it the right decision to make? And what's your proof of that? And if it's not the right opinion, why? And then lastly, very importantly, is there a plan B in case these guys fail? So, and fans out there, I think these are questions for you to think about as well and give us your views, whether you agree with whatever Tsepo says about this or you've got your own views on this. We obviously go through all the comment section. But guys, as a salute to Bafana Bafana, please, if you're happy that Bafana won, press the like button, share the video, and press the subscribe button. Salute Bafana Bafana. Okay, Tsepo, Kaze, Ben Youssef, how did they get this job? I mean, what are the criteria that a club like Kaizer Chiefs looks at? You've been in the inner workings of Kaizer Chiefs. What do they look at? What are the criteria that management look at to get a Kaizer Chiefs coach?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Pierre, and when I look at the two gentlemen that got the job, finally the big decision has been made by Kaizer Chiefs, to come out publicly and say, these are the guys we trust till the end of the season. Let's see how it plays out. But also I would think, also a team like Kaizer Chiefs, sometimes fans need to understand how they get coaches is based on your CV, your record, where you're coming from, what you have done and what you have won. And the coaches, that you go, because sometimes you go through interviews, to get a job. And there's a coach that can speak the game in the boardroom. You're like, wow, this is my guy. This is the one I've been waiting for, So, and there's coaches that also, besides their CV, they good for the brand. How they do their interviews, how they conduct themselves, post match, they never fight with referees. They also look at that, 'cause everything is associated with the brand Kaizer Chiefs. So they don't want to a coach that's not good for the brand and they fighting with sponsors. I would think also these guys that have been here for a year and couple of months. I think maybe they got the job based on that firstly, that they know the team, and the season is on. So what do we do? Do we risk getting someone new? And then we're gonna hear this rebuilding word, and the fans are tired of that word. So maybe it's based on, okay, these guys have been here and maybe they've got a good relationship with the sporting director, or the management, because you don't want a situation where in interviews they keep on hammering there. Because once a coach says they don't have quality, it speaks to the sporting director. The fans look at who, but guys give the coach the quality, and then some teams they don't even like that statement. It's better you come to us, and we discuss that behind closed door. But once you cause division, it's more like we're not aligned. We bring in players, you're saying there's no quality. It's more like we're not aligned, So some teams they look at also those things. Are these coaches gonna work with a sporting director to achieve the goals of the team without causing throwing anyone under the bus in public? As they say, you don't throw your dirty laundry in public.
So based on what you're saying, very good point, Sepp. And viewers out there, I think I'd like to hear your comments. But so, Seppo, in summary, are you really saying they got this job because they've been in the job for a while and they've done reasonably well, but they've probably got a good relationship with the sporting director? The one potential weakness is in that, it's a it's a catch-22, a weighing up situation. Is that a coach like Nabi probably kept the management at arm's length and said, listen, I do this, you're not, it's almost like a fighting arrangement, proving I'm better than you. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. But this could also lead to the sporting director de facto managing the team, saying you should play this. Why aren't you doing this? Almost gives the sporting director more control because they're not experienced with a club like Kaizer Chiefs. I'm talking about the size of Kaizer Chiefs, but I'm not saying that's going to happen. But that, in actual fact, it may be a good thing to happen because at least Kaizer Junior and Bobby had been around and they know the club. So, in your opinion, are you saying good decision, bad decision, or unsure at this stage? Still wait and see.
My honest opinion, Peter, it's a wait and see. I'm not sure about the two guys. And when you look at their squad and you speak of finishing top three, we haven't seen that level of consistency from this Kaizer Chiefs team that would say definitely they're pushing for a top three. And the last couple of games, it also, I'm sure it supports my statement. So they have to be consistent to get to that top three. And some games they look decent, to be honest. Chances created, they dominate, they move the ball well. But there's games where you feel like you don't even know where the goal is gonna come from. So once they hit that consistency, a level of performance, that would change my mind. But for now, it's a wait and see for me. Let's give them maybe till December. There's interesting, tough games. Till the break.
Correct. So I want to throw some points at you and to the viewers out there. And so if you look at just the facts, because let's just talk facts. If you look at the facts, what are Kaze and Ben Youssef holding in their hands right now? First of all, the team is joined fourth, really, with a game in hand over Durban City. So they're sitting in a good position. Their goals against column is exceptionally good. Only 5 goals against in 8 games. The problem, and only 1 defeat. They had a very good start, and as you say, they've slipped off. So where they're sitting for these two guys to take over fully for the rest of the season is in a good position. Then let's look at what's happening here. I'll just go through this, not in any order of importance, but number 1, Vilakazi is coming back. He's coming back from a very successful under 21 World Cup. He will have grown in stature. He'll have grown in confidence. I believe he should be given more of a chance in this team right now because he's at the right age and he's at the right confidence and at the right moment. So, but whether they do it or not, they've got a player coming back into the squad who's full on confidence. Velebayi and Baartman have been cleared to play. Baartman is a goal scorer, young. I can see him coming on second half, and I can see him changing things because he's a proper goal scorer. But if they keep putting the ball in the air, that's not going to happen. Velebayi will challenge on the wings there. So, and he will be a proper challenge to Modi, even Lilepo. Igadora will be fit soon. He can score goals. They've got wingers. He can get at the end of those crosses. Mayo is getting fitter all the time and fit and more. And Mayo's a quality player. Make no mistake. He can get the ball to feet. He can get involved in build-up play. He can finish. He's good in the air. He can go past people. Shaba, like Vilakazi, is now in the Bafana squad. He's part of that whole big celebration. He'll be fighting to get into the AFCON squad and a World Cup squad. So they're going to get a Shaba who actually I think is going to come back with even more belief in himself. And I think that's pivotal. That's because a Shaba taking ownership of games from that 10 position or an attacking midfield position is critical. Silva, every time he's come on, he's scored goals. I think they need to play him more because he's got a goal in him. So they got a guy who can score goals. Even the Twari has come back into the picture. He's been decent when he's been a Chiefs. Okay, he's against Bafana, I think he wasn't so good with the first goal. But then Maboa, he's going to be challenging for a position soon. Even Chislett and Shinga, they could be given a chance. They could come good. Then the players are coming back from injury. There's Ndlovu, Munyane, Marco, Dortley, Misemang. So this is what's not up for discussion. Management has got given these coaches a big enough squad for Africa Cup runs and the league. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, I would agree. Looking at the squad and the number of players, I would agree.
Correct. They've also got, in my opinion, a squad maybe not as good as Chiefs and Sundowns and Pirates, but they've certainly got at least the third best squad in the country, in my opinion. I don't know what you think. Uh, would you agree with that? Do they have the third best squad, or certainly a squad to compete with the big two? Numbers they
Cert-
do.
Certainly a squad to finish in the top four. If you look at Kukune, they're not bad. Also, their squad is not bad. But when with all that mentioned, Peter, looking okay, let's divert a bit. Look at Orlando Pirates. They still have Sesane is coming back, Nda, Makaula, Silelepe, we haven't seen them this season. All those things, they are good positive, but we want to see on match day, how the team performs regardless of who's coming back. It needs to give you a clear direction that this team is on the up. The trajectory. It's going upwards. But if you look at the Kaizer Chiefs team, and also with individual players like Vilakazi, the team how they set up, versus to under 20, maybe the responsibilities are not the same, maybe the style of play. So you also look at all those things, how to make it work, and it all boils down to the coach. The coach needs to get the boys firing. Sometimes we look at the names individually. Velebayi, we don't know how he's gonna fit in. Baartman, you still have Igadoro, you still have all those names, but ultimately, the team has to gel. The team has to look convincing. Then it goes down to the coaching.
Correct. I'm saying the management, Kaizer Chiefs management, has given them a big enough squad to compete in all these competitions and a big enough squad to handle injuries and a lot of new players. So I'm saying these two coaches have got nothing to complain about. They now have to deliver. And I'm saying, I don't know if you agree with me, that coming third would be considered success because probably too early to compete with Sundowns and Pirates. Their squads are the same size, but they've got probably a higher quality and they've been in this position for longer, let's call it. But I'm saying these two coaches have now got this opportunity. And I'll throw something else in, Tsepo. They've just got to get, as you say, to December. Then after December, maybe only player that will be in the AFCON squad will be Shaba. And they'll have a long enough time with this team till after the AFCON to really mold them into a top side for the second half of the season. And they've only played 8 games so far. So they've got a long season with these players. So I think management has given them a great opportunity. They've got to deliver a third place. If they're not in third place, I would call it failure. I don't know what you'd say. And I'm not putting pressure on them. I'm saying this is what Kaizer Chiefs should, why drop the standards? Why drop the targets? What do you think?
That
Third place?
that place, last year they won the trophy, so that place, it also take you back to Africa, to compete in Africa, and it wouldn't be bad. It's been a while since we saw a top Kaizer Chiefs finishing in the top 3 bracket. But as we said, I also support you that they're not in a bad position like they number 10 or number. I'm sure once they can get convincing results on the trot, like like wins on the trot, and they will get the fans backing them and backing the team. And management, I would say they've played their parts.
I agree.
Right now it's the coaches and the team, and I like that they've announced the coaches. Like what we saw again, what we saw against Stellenbosch in the Carling Black Label. It was not a good picture, and I'm sure since everything has been announced, I don't anticipate, seeing that picture again or that scenario playing out, because now they know these are the coaches. These guys have the final say. It's either you with us or you out.
So, Seppo and Kaizer Chiefs fans out there, we've heard all the positives. We've heard all the positives about the squad and so on. But these are the things I'm going to throw at you, Seppo, that worry me and I think should worry the Chiefs fans and the Chiefs management. And this is what the two coaches have got to get right. So let's just compare their records. If you look at this season, the two coaches have played 8 games, won 4, drawn 3, lost 1. And Nabi's record this season is played 3, won 1, drawn 1, lost 1. So not much to go there. If you look at the overall record, Nabi's 47 games, won 13, drawn 10, lost 14. Their record in 10 games is played 10, won 6, drawn 3, lost 1. So they're actually, funny enough, their record, if you do it from a percentage basis, and if you just compare their record, it's not a fair thing because obviously on smaller games, is way better than Nabi's, funny enough, when the duo have been right. So maybe that's what the Chiefs management took into account. But I want to throw the fears that you guys, that I would like you to address, and that the viewers out there, the Chiefs fans out there should think about. Chiefs have only created 6 big chances this season. Only 6 big chances this season, which is 12th in the league of big chances created. You don't create chances, you don't score goals. So Chiefs have only created 6 big chances this season. They can't talk about strikers missing chances. And that's 12th in the league. Last season, at the same time, Tsepo, they had created 23 big chances, and they were first in chances created. And Nabi then had a right to be able to say, we're missing chances. This team, under this duo, aren't creating a lot of chances, but they're not giving it away at the back. Last season, they were giving it away at the back as well. So the question is twofold. Are they sorting out defensively first and then sort out the attack, which would be a tick in my opinion? Or have they fluked it maybe at the back with Peterson playing better, and the team is just defending better, but they're not able to create chances? So what's your comment on the chances, first of all?
My only worry with when you speak about chances created, I see a lot of chop and changing always in their attack. I don't know the reason behind it, but it doesn't look like they have confidence. They already have that one striker to get at the goal and give the striker confidence. If you look at every time in their lineup, there's a bit of 2 or 3 changes. Today there's a Sereno, tomorrow there's a Silver, and tomorrow there's Ashley. I feel they are attacking players. They, you gain confidence by playing, but also you have, as a player, you have to play well. So also that the coach can be confident in playing you. So I think also if they can get that also we need to see their style of play. Man. I'm not too sure if they are all out attack or counter team, or so you can set up your team according to the style of play that the coach requires from the guys. They shouldn't be, today we are a low medium block or whatever block they call them. Tomorrow we are a pressing team. So we need to have a clear identity of the style of play. If you look at the big teams, you know what you're getting. It's not today. As much as there's the opponent in front of you, you have to adjust and tweak, but you don't completely. I look at the Kaizer Chiefs team against the Stellis in the Culling Black. The keeper was just putting the ball down, going long. So it meant they playing on a second ball on the day. And versus the other games, most of the games that they were playing, Peterson would build up with Miguel and the back form. So now it tells you, what's the style of play? What do we believe in? So I'd also like, going into the next 4 games, I want to see the clear style of play of these coaches. So it gives the guys confidence. Everyone knows what to do when he's got the ball, what to expect from his teammates.
I agree with you. So, and viewers out there, I think that's the biggest thing. We don't see from these 2 coaches a clear style of play. I can tell you now, as an ex-striker who played at the highest level in South Africa and overseas and so on, is that if you don't give a striker 2-3 games in a row, to be able to, especially a guy like Silver who scored a couple of goals, the midfielders don't know where he runs. You don't know, he doesn't know when he's going to get the ball. You can't keep chopping, changing the strikers. That's the first thing. Secondly, I think one of the problems with not creating chances, Tsepo, is this statistic. Kaizer Chiefs have had 127 shots at goal. 127 shots at goal. That's number 1 in the league for shots at goal. Lilepo has taken 40 shots at goal. These numbers are ridiculous. If you keep shooting from everywhere, you can't create chances. If you're not hitting the target, you're giving the ball away. And so many of these shots, I think that's a particular problem. I know they say if you don't take a shot, you can't don't have a chance of scoring. But 127 shots and 40 from one player. That's why the fans are getting on Lilepo. I think that's you can't just say when you have a sight of goal, have a shot. You've got to be pretty certain that you're going to score. Otherwise, you've got to work your way there. Your thoughts on that before we close on a couple other points?
I've seen him score a great goal last season, from outside the box. But the with so saying, it speaks to the understanding of the players in the final third. So there have to be this telepathic, understanding between the attackers of Kaizer Chiefs. Then we'll see less, taking shots, because now we're hoping just to get a goal from outside. Even players that you've never seen them score from from long range. Sometimes you'd see him tetra, just taking his chances. It speaks to the understanding of the attack, where coaching comes to play. Now, what do we do when we get here? We expect our wingers to be in this position. If we play feet to the strike out, making the third man run. So sometimes I feel that, especially in the later stages of the game, they get disjointed, and then it's too individual. They playing as the attack
Yes.
is more individual, football. Where okay, give me the ball, I'll try something. The next one also okay, it's my turn now to try something. So it needs to be coached. So you have repeated patterns or repeated actions.
I know, Seppo, you hit the nail on the head. Viewers out there, I can tell you right now, Seppo, what he just said now, you can see a well-coached team when you see patterns of play. And we don't see enough patterns of play at Kaizer Chiefs, including under Nabi, by the way. And when you see what Seppo says, okay, I'm going to try now. I'm going to try. Give me the ball. That's basically park football. Last point I want to make is, yes, definitely these coaches, we've got to relook at the situation in December when the first half of the season ends. And they're either got to be taken off the job there and then if it's poor, or the double voter conference that you now got this whole mini preseason again while the AFCON's on to get yourself right for the second half of the season. The question is, do Chiefs have a plan B in case these two fail? And it looks like Pitso Mosimane and is definitely out the picture because they could have got him right now. And they didn't. They basically said no. It's a big sign that they've given these guys the job ahead of bringing somebody because that's what's happened. Pitso's available. They've said, we will rather stick with these two kind of, if you look at the CVs versus Pitso's, their CV rather than bringing Pitso in. So that's a big no to Pitso. But they need to have a plan B. What would your plan B be? What would your plan B be?
I think in back of their mind, the management, they know they're taking a huge risk. When you look at their CV, these guys have never managed any big team. They've never, there's no point of reference where we're saying, okay, they went to Botswana with, a team from Botswana and won the league there. Okay, we're taking the risk based on that. They do in their back of the mind, they know it's a huge risk. Giving this because Chiefs is a big team, and I would stand to be corrected, but I think it's their first, big role as head coaches in their careers, in such a team, meaning that again,
Kaze has had a few big. Kaze has roles. Kaze has had a few roles, but not the size of Kaizer Chiefs.
as a head coach, Peter.
Yeah, but not nowhere near as Kaizer Chiefs.
All right, and again, when you look at also the financial part, when you run a football team, it also plays a huge role. They're looking at, okay, I don't know what was the settlement or agreement with Nabi leaving. Maybe there's money's paid, or maybe they shook hands and thank you. But also they're looking at bringing a big coach, with a big salary. What if he comes with his whole own team again? So financial it's got its own,
Yes.
impacts when
Yeah.
you make that decision. People forget the financial part of running a soccer team. Maybe also it gives them time, to let's say if it doesn't go well, to work on their next plan B, getting a new coach. They don't want to a rush decision where they make a decision now. He comes with his own team. End of the season again, you have a problem. So I'm looking at also those points. But I'm sure a plan B they do have in their back of their minds. Maybe it could be Coach Peter's turn next season. If you're still available, we'll never know.
Well, if that comes through, I'm sure they'll get the job again. Well, Chiefs fans, let us know what you think. Tsepo, as usual, thanks very much. Bafana Bafana, thank you again.
Salute, Coach Hugo Bros and the boys.